Okay, now it's the next phase. I built a new front grille, which I'm really happy about. Really Mad Max looking. The hood fully pivots now. We're starting to sandblast, and of course, we're running into some rust issues. But now the hood can pivot, nice and strong. I think I'm gonna add some kind of, maybe some round bar, and then something to round off this corner. I wish I would have, well, I could, and this was actually down there. So I had to cut this section of the hood off. It was mangled from trees or whatnot. The fenders have been blasted, and once all the sheet metal is done, we're gonna prime it. I'm gonna use some Pt.2 on the rusty areas. I do have the front grille, which I really like, with the headlights and the original plastic grille. I'm gonna refinish that. The wheels are gonna come off. And yes, those are the trailer wheels, which work great. And they are not hub-centric, so I got lug-centric lug nuts. That way we can get this thing nice and round. It won't come loose, because those are just flat washers in there. And then once all the sheet metal's off, take the seat off, we will blast everything, chassis-wise, gas tank, everything blue. So it should be good. Let's get started. Okay, this is as far as we got today. The orange on the transmission is actually the primer, or maybe it was the base coat, but we knocked all the blue off, got it prepped really clean. The engine's roughed up. The hood is pretty much done, but we are gonna have to hit it again, just do a final strip on it. I had to take the 3-point cylinder out because the adjustment knob was broken. When I took that cylinder out, I noticed that the piston was scored just a little bit, and I did have some problems with the 3-point hitch being a little jerky, especially coming up. It just with no weight though. So granted, if it had weight, it'd probably be fine. But it did make me question the hydraulics, and I did find some scoring on this piston, and it did have a bit of a lip on it. I have sanded it with some fine sandpaper to smooth it off, and then to match inside, that's what I really don't like. So the top half is fine, it has a little scoring, but the bottom half, let's see the lighting. Well, this is gonna get, that is definitely gonna cause it to be jerky for a hydraulic system. So I'm gonna try to work that smooth as good as I can. It's actually pitted, so you can only do so much with it, and we'll see what happens. I really don't want to buy new housing, but this snapped off. I tried to hit it with a hammer, with a chisel, just trying to knock it loose. It is beyond frozen. That metal was very soft. When I put pliers on it to try to work it with some penetrating oil, it literally snapped right off. I don't know if someone else tried it before me, but probably should have put heat to this. I was worried there might be seals inside of here, so I obviously didn't put heat, but I really don't think there were any seals in there. I think it's more of a steel valve in there. So wherever it's set, it actually works really good. But if this is affordable, which I feel like it's not going to be, or even available, that'd be questionable as well, I'll order a new one. If not, if it's expensive, I'm just gonna roll with it like this, and if it kills me down the road, I can replace it. All right, boy, do we make a mess. There's sand everywhere. It's about 1,000 pounds of sand, but we recycled a bunch of it using this nifty little sift out of a stream door mesh. Worked really good. If not, clogs the sandblaster. That thing is decent, gets the job done. There has to be better option, because we had to do a lot of shaking to get it out. I'm actually gonna use a palm sander on all this just to finish it. It has already gotten a little bit of surface rust on it just from this side out over the weekend. The hood did. I'm gonna palm sand it, get it ready. Everything else looks really good. That's actually not rust, that's the primer that was under the blue paint. The wheels, for some reason this paint came off super easy, and this paint was extremely stuck on there, so I'm assuming maybe one side got more sun than the other. So I left it. I'm gonna rough it. It's already super rough, but I'm gonna sand it. Just kind of finish off some of these coarse areas. I got high fill primer, prime the entire thing and get it in the shop. So next step is to get it in the shop, pull the wheels back off and all the sheet metal off, and separate sheet metal from chassis and start priming. One note, which was almost expected to happen, we sandblasted this extremely gentle because we all know a 40-year-old gas tank is more than likely going to have pinholes. And what do you know? This one actually revealed itself with pinholes when it was on the tractor. So that's going to be epoxy coated, the whole tank, which is good for the longevity of the tank regardless. So hey, might as well get it done while it's all apart. So yeah, the white powder coated wheels, I got the lug bolts with the tapered heads. It's like a very Audi thing. It's a 1.25 by 12 millimeter bolt taper. And now those wheels fit perfect and they will not wobble when you ride. So yeah, it's coming along good. Let's get in the shop. This works. Goodbye, sand pit. So now the tractor's back in the shop. Last night I coated the Pt.2 on the worst of the sheet metal, and then also the inner fenders where the structure, the brace goes up where you can't get behind. I try to flood it behind there to get that rust prohibitor in there. I also got kind of 2 coats on some of the problem areas. This also revealed how lumpy the hood is, but we are going to do a lot of body work on this. Obviously some of the dents and all the waviness in there, which is hard to see with the shadows, but it's quite wavy. So now we're gonna pull the hood off completely, pull the radiator, pull the wheels, front and rear, get it on jack stands again, and hopefully shoot primer tomorrow. It is so humid and foggy down here in Louisiana that today just is not gonna be a good day. I'm hoping tomorrow brings better painting conditions and hopefully everything will be gray. Chassis, engine, hood, wheels tomorrow, so stay tuned.